Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
I'm Cooper Burke here with Jojo Ghazali. Jojo, how are you?
I'm good. Never been better.
Yeah. How are you feeling going into this camp? Last week you felt a little sick. Have you really rebounded from that, and are you feeling 100% again?
Yeah, 100%. I've been through so many fight camps. I've been through so many sicknesses. I've trained sick. I've trained healthy. I've trained sad, happy, everything. So, it's normal for us, and we know what to do when we get sick and how to recover. So, I'm feeling confident in this fight. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. So in a couple months, you are facing Trần Duy Nhất Nguyễn. And what does he do well that you need to look out for?
Nguyen he's a fast fighter. He's experienced. He's a lot older than me. But what really stands out is his head kicks. He's fast. He's sometimes unpredictable. So I think his best weapon would be his head kicks.
Yeah. Well, on your side, what is a weapon you have that you think he won't be able to deal with?
Honestly, I'm versatile. People only see like my highlights are mostly my punches, because that's what finishes people. But to set up the punches, I have kicks, I have elbows, I have footwork, head movement. So I use what I need to get the job done.
Yeah, certainly. Last time out, you sparked Edgar Juarez Tabarez in 36 seconds, even after you missed weight. How did it feel to announce yourself with a great performance on such a big stage?
I felt great. It felt great. It would have felt better if I made the weight. But first, I made the weight. I just didn't pass the hydration. So I was 135 at one point. So but all that's under control this fight. So we're on weight now. We're ready to go.
Yeah. That brings me to my next question. How does a weight cut usually work for you in the promotion with the hydration system? I'm sure it's different from the traditional weight cut in wrestling and other mixed martial arts. So I want to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's definitely different, because we can't. I say before one championship, we do the normal water cut. We dehydrate ourselves and just lose water. Like a normal weight cut would be. But for one championship, they have safety rules. They want to keep everyone healthy and strong. So, they check the hydration just as much as they check the weight. So, it was hard at first to adjust to, but now I feel like I've adjusted. I've educated myself, and it should be easy this time.
Yeah. So are you really focused on like dieting down as opposed to cutting water weight?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. So you spoke about wanting to fight in the US in the next few months. If I remember correctly, one championship's headed to Atlanta and also headed to Denver. Um, which of the two locations really speaks to you?
I would love to get on the Denver card, because I have family in Farmington, New Mexico. They're right
Yeah.
there, so it'd be easy for them to go up and watch me fight. I'd love to have them watch them fight. They've never seen me in the ring before, so Denver would be good. Yeah, I feel like I'm connected with my roots.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
so you took 6 months between your second last fight and your last fight, as opposed to the 2, 3 months you usually take. Was there something that kept you from fighting as frequently as you usually do?
The reason I had to stop for so long because I was finishing high school. I had the big test and I had to graduate from high school, and then Ramadan came out. So when Ramadan comes up, I drop everything and I focus on Ramadan. So yeah, I've had a good rest. I let my body heal after the 5 fights. I had actually 6 fights. I had one fight before one championship, and then another 5 fights in one championship. So total of 6 fights last year, and then I took a break. I had to finish high school, Ramadan, and stuff like that. I let my body heal, and but I've been in camp. I haven't like been in serious camp, but I've been training almost every day since my last fight. So um, I didn't feel too far off when I had to start getting to serious fight camp. So should be no problem.
Yeah, like what's I think the saying goes, it's like stay ready when it's like stay ready to get ready or something like that. I
Yeah, yeah,
totally
yeah,
get it.
something like that.
Yeah. So obviously, congratulations on finishing high school. That's a big accomplishment. Um,
Thank
so
you,
even
thank you. Yeah.
yeah, even though you're only 18 years old, you're 2 years younger than I am. How many fights have you had in your career total by your count? There's not really a database like Fight Matrix where I can go and find um, Muay Thai fights just because the culture of the sport is so different. So I want to hear it from
Yeah.
you. Um, how many fights you've had in your career?
Um, Professional fights, I've had about 20, I say 30 professional fights, but I've had a bunch of amateur fights here and there. So uh, I'd say about 30 amateur fights. Those are like the tournaments where I fight like twice in a day or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you like fighting so frequently? You know, in the sort of tournament style of Muay Thai?
Tournament styles and how?
As in like you're fighting multiple times in a day or um
Uh,
maybe one day and then you fight the next.
Um, Honestly, nah, I didn't really enjoy those kind of fights too much. I like putting a lot of suspense on one fight. So 100% focused on one fight and perform my best. So having multiple fights in a day, that stuff hurt. Yeah.
Um, one championship I've seen a lot of your fights where you use the 4 ounce gloves as opposed to the traditional, more boxing style gloves. Um,
Yeah.
do you prefer those 4 ounce gloves or are you more of a traditionalist when it comes to what you're wearing on your hands?
100%. When of course when I first started wearing the 4 ounce gloves, it was hard for me to adjust. Because I've been fighting my whole life in 8 ounce, 10 ounce, 12 ounce gloves. So, uh, I remember my first fight and my second or third fight. I broke my hands. Because I was punching people's foreheads over and over. So, I broke my hands a few times, but now I'm adjusted. I figured out how to use the gloves, when to punch, where to punch, and yeah, the 4 ounce gloves definitely play a big role in my success because yeah, they're an advantage to me because of my style. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. So like we've talked about, you have plenty of experience in the Muay Thai sport at such a young age. How did you get into the sport?
Muay Thai has always been a part of my life, ever since I can remember. My father was a fighter, my mom was a fighter, now all my siblings fight. Um, but even before that, my grandfather was a boxer, so not only Muay Thai but martial arts, it's always been a part of the family somehow. But at first, I just started Muay Thai to exercise, just for fun because I wasn't doing anything else. And then the coach asked me, "Do you want to fight?" At first, I was like, "Nah, why do I want to fight?" I was like, "What the hell's fighting for?" And then my mom said, "I don't care. You're gonna fight. You got to try at least once." And then I said, "All right, fine." Then after the first time, I fell in love for just a second. Uh, there. And then after the first fight, I fell in love. Huh?
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, would you say your parents and your family have been super supportive of your career so far?
Definitely, definitely. My family has been uh incredibly supportive. You know, they've been with me through every up and down. You know, my brothers and my sister are there every day with me training. Um, my mom too, she owns the gym. My dad trains with me most of the time, so they're here through the ups and downs, and they're definitely supportive. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so you've spent some time, in one in your young career. What is the biggest lesson you've learned so far from your time in the promotion?
Biggest lesson. Not sure about that. Biggest lesson, I would say, uh, not everyone wants to see you succeed. Yeah, with this fame and stuff like that, you start to really see like who's really rooting for you and who's really supporting you. So, yeah, I say that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. In a lot of your interviews, you talk about your faith, and what it means to you.
Yeah.
How have you used your faith, um, to grow stronger in a person? And where do you feel like you stand, being that you've been through so much, in your 18 years?
Um, I feel like my faith, of course, is above everything. You know, my mindset going into every fight is, I do my best in camp. You know, I train hard. I do my absolute best. You know, I stay consistent. I stay disciplined. I stay focused. But when it comes to the ring, I leave it all up to God, and whatever happens, happens. You know, if I lose, it's for the better. If I win, it's for the better. So, uh, I just pray for the best, and whatever happens, happens. So, I feel like having my faith takes the pressure off of my shoulders by a lot. So, it helps me stay calm. I put my trust into Allah, and everything falls into place.
Absolutely. Um, so what can we expect from you, this time out in a couple of weeks?
You can expect crazy fight. You can every fight of mine, you can expect a crazy fight. Of course, I'm going for the knockout like every single fight, and I'll try to put him up by, if I can, round one, round two, round three. I'll go for the knockout every single chance I get. But win, lose, draw, or whatever, you guys can definitely expect a entertaining fight. It'll be entertaining no matter what.
Yeah. Um, you know, there's a certain style in Muay Thai that really is free flowing and brings those crazy fights. So if I remember correctly, there's is it seven styles of Muay Thai?
I think so, yeah.
Which one of those would you say fits your game the best?
I'm a Muay Mat, so I wouldn't say Muay Mat. I can do most of the styles, but I know that the most entertaining style would be like the punching, aggressive, forward fighter. Um, I choose that style specifically because I know that it gets the crowd riled up. It's entertaining, it's fun to watch, and yeah. But uh, I do what I need to do. In the ring, if you need me to be a kicker, I can switch up my game plan. I can switch up my camp. I can train hard. I can perfect my kicking. If you need me to be an elbow fighter, I can focus on that. So I'm versatile. I'm not stuck on one style, but I prefer being a forward pressure fighter and a puncher.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So in some circles, people have compared you to the legendary Muay Thai fighter Rod Tang. How
Yeah.
have you how have you dealt with that? Is there any extra pressure that comes with that, or is it just all part of the game?
Of course, there's a certain type of pressure in everything. And every time I step into the ring, I feel like I have a nation on my shoulders. But uh, it's it's all right. That's where my faith comes into place. You know, I put it all on in God's hand. You know, God's hands. You know, I let Him deal with it, and everything falls into place. Of course, being compared to Rotang is amazing. You know, I never saw this coming when I started Muay Thai, but it's amazing, and I'll do what I can with the honor people give me of comparing me to him, and I'll do my best.
Absolutely. Now that we're coming up about on the halfway point of the year, what are the goals for the rest of the year for you?
Get at least 2 or 3 more fights. You know, I want to fight in Denver. That's the plan. I want to go back to my hometown and fight in Colorado. Maybe one more towards the end of the year. But there's one fighter that I would love to fight. He's a legendary Japanese fighter. You know, he just had a crazy fight with one of the pound for pound greatest, in my opinion. You know, his name is Takeru. So if one championship can set that up, maybe in Denver, maybe in the fight after that, but that would be a dream fight I would love to have this year.
Sounds like a fantastic fight. And I, for one, can't wait to watch your fight coming up in a few weeks against Trần Duy Nhất Nguyễn. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic fight. Jojo, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you very much. No problem.